Okay, friends, we're going to get started. There will be a few more people who are going to chime in, I'm just sure of it. And as they do, I will invite them in and let them join into our wonderful conversation today. Very excited to have each and every one of you again. This happens to be, I think it's our 7th month doing this. And I hope that you are all enjoying this. We have about 150, almost 175 people registered for this month for our virtual UCS program, which has an emphasis on the sport of soccer. And then, of course, the conversation of inclusion and youth leadership. So excited to have each and every one of you here. If you look around on our screen, you see that there might be multiple people in particular rooms. So that being said, I know that it looks like there's only about 20 different devices on our screen, but that is okay because we have some classrooms that might have 6, 8, 10 people in there. So again, friends, we're excited to have each and every one of you with us. There was a question a few moments ago about Lexi. And so there's some exciting news to share with you if anybody who remembers who Lexi is. Lexi is actually, it's kind of mixed emotion. Lexi is no longer a staff member with Special Olympics Iowa, but she is a staff member now with Special Olympics North America. So she's made a wonderful transition. So that is pretty exciting that she has made that transition and she is still with the Special Olympics community, just at a different capacity now. So friends, got a lot of things to go over today. First, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to start off our leadership conversation and youth leadership and inclusion conversation with you in kind of a unique way. As you might know, sometimes we ask our school students to lead that conversation, but this month we actually don't have any students that jumped up and volunteered and said, we want to lead that conversation. So if next month you might want to lead the conversation, maybe have your teacher send me an email and maybe we can have you and some of your fellow students lead the conversation about inclusion. But today I'm going to actually share a different direction on that. I want to show you some things real quick. You can unmute yourselves. What do you see in front of you? If you want to answer the question, you're certainly welcome to unmute yourself. What am I holding up? Somebody unmuted themselves. This is an apple. Just a normal apple, right? Autumn, what do you think? What does that look like? Autumn might be muted. Can you all still hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. Perfect. I see some thumbs ups there. So my friends, this is an apple, as you know, and I'm actually going to spotlight this. This here is an apple, friends, and I'm going to talk about this apple. I'm actually going to say some unkind things to this apple. You remember last month we talked about unkind words and we squeezed that toothpaste out? Well, I'm going to tell you about this apple. This is about the ugliest apple I've ever seen. Now, don't say these things to other people, and I don't want you to say anything to mean to the apple, but I'm going to talk to the apple. Ugly, ugly apple. Apple, I don't like the shade of red that you are. You are about the ugliest shade of red. You look like you've been sitting out in the sun for too long. If I was an apple on a tree, this would not be the friend of mine. I would not want to be friends with this apple because it is not a good-looking apple. You all just remember this apple. Don't forget about the apple. I'm going to show you that apple again in just a little while. The apple is sitting right there. Don't forget about that apple. Okay, I'm going to slide it over. Did each and every one of you receive a packet of what we call inclusion tiles? If you've received these, I would like for you to get your inclusion tiles out, please. I'm going to give you a few moments to grab those. Every person get your inclusion tiles out. You can set your soccer balls to the side. We're going to separate them. These are the tiles that I want for you to get out, the ones with the main word on the front. The ones that look like this, the activity cards and the create your own, you can set those to the side. You won't need these, so set these ones to the side. And take these cards here and have them in front of you. You can do this on your own, or you can do this as a unified pair, meaning athlete and partner, you can pair up if you'd like. But what I'm going to have you do, friends, is I'm going to have you put these down flat in front of you on the floor or on your table or your desk. Just lay them out. And teachers, you're welcome to help as well, okay? Lay these cards out right in front of you. And then what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to order these cards in whatever order might make sense to you. So some people order them in order of, they start with inclusion and they go all the way to exclusion because they're totally different. Sometimes people group them together. But I would like to give everybody a few minutes or a few moments here. We're going to go for about 3 to 5 minutes of you working alone or working with a partner or friend to just group these up. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to give all of you a few moments here to order these inclusion tiles in whatever kind of order might make sense to you. And I'm going to I'll be screen sharing some of you as you are working. Wonderful. Look at this. I see this group of students right here. I'm not sure which class that is, but I see them all spreading their inclusion tiles out, making some groupings. Which you're welcome to unmute yourself if you'd like to tell us what class you are.
I can't get it to work.
Oh, you're good. I hear you now. What class are you?
Oh, Weeks Middle School.
Weeks Middle School, and that's in Des Moines. Okay, wonderful. Good job, Weeks Middle School. I'm going to continue sharing some others. Again, friends, as we're doing this, you're welcome to work alone or work with a partner pair, but we're asking you to just group them up in a specific order. I'm going to share in any order that makes sense to you. I'm going to share this school here. I see them working.
Okay, so
And as you're grouping them, think about maybe how you might share, because I might ask a few people to share with us as well.
So let's be ready to share the group.
And remember, some of you might actually have your screens turned off. Brooks Murphy, you're there, I see, but I can't see you. So Miss Brotherton's class, if any of you are willing to share your screens, that would be wonderful. You just turn your camera on so I can see you. Brooks Murphy, you keep yours on there, buddy. I'm going to share you in just a minute. And so, friends, this activity is going to make you think about some things. This is a wonderful activity that you can each do in your classrooms. You can do this with your family and friends. Brooks, I'm going to share you as well. Maybe Brooks, you can even turn your camera down maybe so we can see your inclusion tiles a little bit. I'm not sure if that will be able. Okay, I see you got some up there. Great.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Brooks, yes.
Okay. So I kind of split mine up into like 4 on 4.
Wonderful.
So I have like meaningful inclusion, lasting friendship, inclusion, and acceptance.
Okay.
And then those are the more like positive ones, you know, the ones that we want to keep on reinforcing. And then we have exclusion, fear of difference, avoidance, and more like tolerance and stuff. Where
Wonderful.
things we want to like stay away from, you know?
Sure. Wonderful. Thank you. So here we go. I'm going to bring myself back on screen here. Just a quick second.
no, not right now.
Isabel, we're in the middle of a Special Olympics and they're watching.
Wonderful. All right, friends, I hope you are all, I hope maybe you've gotten some, oh, I'm going to admit these others here. There's a few more that are waiting to come in here. Okay, wonderful. For those individuals who just came in, what we've done is we've taken our inclusion tiles and I've asked everybody to just lay their inclusion tiles out in front of them and group them or order them in whatever order or grouping might make sense to them. So if you've just joined the group, take your inclusion tiles and lay them out. I'm going to explain my grouping and what I've done, okay? What I've done is my first one is exclusion. And my last one is meaningful inclusion, okay? And on the back of the cards, it kind of describes, it gives a description or a definition of what each of those cards are. And in between those two, I've got all kinds of things. So my first one is exclusion. And then I've got a fear of difference. And I think in my mind, fear of difference oftentimes leads to avoidance. And then there's like a little transition into tolerance, where tolerance leads into situational friendship sometimes. And then we see acceptance. And then I've got inclusion, meaningful inclusion, and then I actually have lasting friendship at the very end. I kind of made a mistake there. And so I want to kind of explain a few of those things to you. And then I might ask some of your teachers, if any of you as teachers would like to share how you would group them. And you don't have to share the whole thing, just certain parts of them, or unified partners or athletes. Anyone who would like to share, I would love to have you explain that to me. I'm going to share this real quick, 2 parts. In my mind, fear of difference leads to avoidance. And I'm going to explain that. What is the fear of difference? To me, the fear of difference is when somebody they have a concern. They have a fear of what might be different from another person. So for example, you might be at your lunchroom table and somebody's humming and making noise and you don't understand why that person's rocking back and forth. And because you don't understand that, you choose not to visit with that person. You choose not to talk to that person. And that means that there's a fear of difference. You are afraid of that person's difference. And that's not necessarily a bad thing if you have a fear of difference because you don't understand the person or that difference. It becomes bad if you choose not to associate with a person because even when you do understand it and you choose not to associate with a person because you don't like it. That's when it becomes kind of like not okay. But a fear of difference is normal, natural, we see that. A fear of difference can lead to avoidance, okay? And a fear of difference can lead to avoidance, which eventually can lead to exclusion. I'm gonna go to a little bit more of a positive side of the conversation, and I'm gonna talk about inclusion and meaningful inclusion, because a lot of times people don't know what that means. They don't realize that there's a difference between inclusion and meaningful inclusion. I'm going to explain that to you. So the way that I like to explain it and the way that I think about it, inclusion is an invitation to the party. We are inviting you to come to the party, or we are inviting you to come to the school dance, or you have been invited to come to the school prom, okay? That is exciting. That is just so wonderful because we've included you. We've invited you. You are now at the school dance. That's great. You're at the school dance and you're just sitting there and watching everybody else dance and you're not doing anything. And now I come to you and I invite you to dance at the dance. We've put purpose behind that. So now what we've done is we meaningfully included you. Inclusion is the invitation to the dance. Meaningful inclusion is to dance. It's an invitation to dance when you're at the dance. So that's important for everybody to understand because we all want to be accepted. We all want to be included in some fun things. And so there is a difference between inclusion and meaningful inclusion. Inclusion is the invitation to the dance. Meaningful inclusion is the invitation to dance when you're at the dance. So friends, I would love to encourage you all to include. And not only do I want to encourage you to include people, but I want to encourage you to meaningful include people. Meaningful include people. I would like to ask if there are any teachers or any partners who would like to explain theirs. We heard Brooks Murphy. He is a unified partner from Roosevelt High School. We heard Brooks. If you would like to share something, maybe just pop yourself off of mute real quick, and then we'll highlight you. Tell me who you are. Is there anybody who would like to share what the way that they've ordered it or maybe what they've experienced with that? Jody Brotherton's class, it looks like maybe he's got somebody. And I'm not sure if I can hear you, but you're off mute. Can anybody else hear that class?
I cannot hear them.
Oh. Are you talking? I think we might have an audio problem and we're not able to hear you. I'm very sorry, but I do like what we got here, lasting friendship and acceptance. Maybe hold those up. And I like the grouping there because, and I'm just gonna maybe talk for you and I hope that I'm on spot with what you're thinking, but a lot of times acceptance can lead to lasting friendship because we have to accept people by who they are and maybe their differences are. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, are there any other classes who would like to share? Okay. Wonderful. So I'm going to do another one real quick with you, okay? And this one, you're all going to be encouraged to maybe take yourself off of mute as long as your classroom is quiet in the background. We don't want everybody talking at the same time. So you're welcome to turn yourself off of mute. And I'm not going to look at the card that I've got. I'm not going to look at the card that I've got.
Go tell them like how many you want.
I'm closing my eyes. I'm going to select a card and you're going to describe the card for me without actually telling me the word. Okay? So I'm going to select a card.
A cheeseburger?
I'm going to hold up a card in just a moment and you're going to describe it.
A random student just.
If I can ask you to go ahead and describe this word, that would be wonderful.
Okay, words, guys. You guys got it?
Yeah.
I wish we had like a louder speaker.
Is there, Brooks Murphy, can you hear me? Can you help me describe this word?
Yes, I would say not very welcoming, non-inviting, not
Avoidance?
participating. You're getting
Okay.
there, you're close.
Okay.
Let me think.
And so anybody else, you're welcome to describe this for me. That would be wonderful.
Stands alone.
Stands alone. Okay. Not welcoming, stands alone. Is it exclusion?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm going to do one more card. One more card. My eyes are closed. I can't see. Do I have it facing the right way?
Yes.
Okay. Some more descriptions.
An invitation.
An invitation. So is it inclusion?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Accepting
Let's
differences.
do one more card and see if I can make it a little bit more difficult.
What's this thing?
Opportunity for new friendships.
Opportunity for new friendships.
Participating together.
Participating together. One of the reasons why I like this activity is because not only is it making me think, but it's making each and every one of you think about how to describe this word. New
In
friends.
the same
Is it
environment?
situational friendship?
Yep. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, friends. I appreciate all of you entertaining me and doing that. What we're going to do here is we're going to have a small transition, okay? You also received a pump. So if you've not already done it, I'm going to do the quick descriptions. You take the needle out of your pump right there. You can twist your pump needle into the pump. If you haven't already done this, we're going to ask you to air up your soccer ball. You just insert it right into the little hole there, and then you proceed to squeeze this, and it will put air into your soccer ball. So get your soccer ball ready, friends. Don't forget, we also want to encourage you to drink some water. And I'm gonna move my screen and we're gonna get a little bit active. All right, everybody stand up for me. Perfect, we're gonna do some stretching. All right, ready? So let's just put our arms nice and wide. The ball can be nearby, but you don't actually need it. We're just gonna stretch our bodies. Stretch up nice and tall. Touch the sky, touch the sky. Maybe on your tippy toes, stretch out your ankles at the same time. Up on your tippy toes, wonderful. And spread your feet out and let's bend over. Touch our toes, stretch all the way. All right, we're gonna come back up. We're gonna do the same thing to the next side. Great, let's do it again. Stretch straight up, nice and tall. On your tippy toes, stretching out your ankles and your legs. Great. And now we're gonna stretch back over to one side. And we're gonna stretch back over to the next side. Friends, soccer is a sport here. Let's do this while I'm talking. Soccer is a sport that keeps your body moving, okay? So it's important that our entire body is stretched out and nice and limber and ready to move. It's important that we also stretch our necks because we have to, in soccer, we also have to hit the soccer ball with our heads. So let's stretch our necks. Let's do that real quick. Over to the side. Over to the other side. Down in front. And back. And let's just roll it a little bit. Okay, wonderful. We're gonna do a few leg stretches, friends. Let's do this here where your foot is up against the wall and you bring yourself forward. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to move to the wall if you want. Good job. I see some students there, maybe at North High School, maybe that are doing that. Maybe Angie Chapman's class that's also moving over. I think that's at Lincoln High School in Des Moines. We're gonna do our next foot. Feel that stretch right here in your lower leg. Wonderful, okay. And remember, soccer is a very active sport. It's important to stretch your entire body. So now we're gonna stretch these muscles right here. We're gonna bring our foot up, get some balance, and stretch like that. And you could always put your hand against the wall if you need, or hold on to a chair as long as it's not a rolly chair. Okay, wonderful. And the next foot, next leg. Okay, now we're gonna move a little bit. We're gonna get our heart rate moving, okay? So we're gonna jog in place for 15 seconds. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Now let's do 10 jumping jacks. Are you ready? Get your bodies moving. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. In soccer, we run really quick. And so we're gonna do some fast feet, okay? See my feet? We're gonna do about 15 seconds of fast feet. And when you do it, feel welcome to turn your body. Okay? Here we go. So your legs getting tired, making those legs move. Okay, good job. Got our heart rate up. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you a quick video, friends. While I'm getting that video, you're welcome to drink some water. I'm gonna share my screen. This video volume is a little bit low, so maybe be ready to maybe be ready to turn your volume up in just a moment here. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing this video. This is a little bit of instruction about the game of soccer.
Hi friends, Brian Coffey here again with Special Olympics Iowa, and this month we are excited to help you learn a little bit more about just the basic skills and some techniques of soccer, maybe like the head ball, shooting, passing, receiving a ball, and other techniques with soccer. So enjoy the video, friends. Dribbling is another important technique of soccer. It's the process of getting the ball from one place to another place by moving it by yourself without actually passing it to another person. Because of course, as you know, you can't actually pick up the ball with your hands in soccer. So how do you move it from one place to the next? You use your feet. You dribble it between one foot to the next. Here's a little drill you can do just to practice dribbling. And then if you're actually trying to move from one place to the next on the field, you can dribble like so. And then you can go back and forth and just move the ball around across the field. As mentioned earlier, in soccer we don't use our hands. We only touch the ball with our feet. And the other way we can touch the ball is with our head. And so it's important to understand how to do a head ball so that you don't hurt yourself in any way. And so typically when we do a head ball, we want to actually make sure that the ball touches the forehead rather than the top of the head. Hitting the ball at the top of your head is probably not a good idea. It can lead to injury. It's better to go ahead and hit it with the forehead. And so that being said, you want to make sure when you're doing a head ball that your body is nice and strong and firm and not flailing everywhere. So make sure you're in a good position to do this with a motion of hitting the ball with your head. And so I'm going to show you how we can do that. If the ball is coming towards you and it's up high, you can't get it with your feet, and you need to head the ball as it's coming. You can hit it like so, and hopefully it goes in the direction that you might send it.
Hello everybody, my name is Katie Shiro. I'm Director of West Regional Field Services. Today I'm going to talk about how to pass the soccer ball. So first thing you'll want to do is plant the opposite foot that you plan on hitting the ball with, and then you'll want to have a little bit of distance between you and the ball, and you'll want to kick the ball with the inside of your foot, like right around here. You don't want to use the top of your foot or your shoelaces. You want to use the inside of it. So you go ahead and plant your foot, and then kick through like that. Now we're going to talk about how to receive the ball when somebody's passing it to you. So you want to use the same concept as passing the ball and use this part of your foot when receiving the ball. So once you have it stopped and in control, then you can go ahead and make your next move, whether that's shooting a goal or passing it to a teammate.
I'm going to show you how to shoot the soccer ball into the goal. First thing you want to know is a good approach moving to the ball or being at the ball with a strong leg and a plant foot. This is my plant foot, my left leg. I'm going to place it right about here, about 6 or 8 inches away from the ball. And this is my kicking leg or my kicking foot or my strong leg. I'm going to approach it with a kick right on the back side of the ball. And it's important to follow through with the kick. Follow all the way through with the kick. I'm going to shoot on goal now. I'm going to approach it strong, plant my foot, and kick.
Hi everyone, my name is Dawn Chris, Senior Director of Sports and Programs here at Special Olympics Iowa. I just want to go over the competition that we offer in soccer. We've seen some great techniques from Brian and Katie. And I just want to tell you about summer games, which is usually held in May. We have team soccer, which we have traditional athlete teams, we have co-ed teams, and we also have unified teams, so you all can be a part of that. There's 7-person teams, and we also have soccer skills, which consists of the things you just learned about. We have run and kick, we have dribbling, and we have shooting. This month, for our virtual competition, we actually have included soccer skills. So I hope you all can participate. Athletes, unified partners, coaches, and fans, you can all participate in that and use some of these great techniques you've learned. Thank you all for joining us.
Hi friends, Brian Coffey here.
Okay, wonderful friends. I hope you enjoyed that little clip. Before we move on to the next, I'm going to do another recap of what we've done so far. So far, you've heard me say mean things about this apple, right? I talked about how ugly the apple was at the very beginning. So people have just joined a few moments ago. So I was talking about how ugly this apple was. I was insulting it. I was telling it that it's got a funny shade of red. It's really kind of not a good looking apple. It sits a little bit funny. So you just remember that. I've just made that apple. I've just said to that apple some mean things. We've also done our inclusion tiles where we've learned some important words. We've learned about exclusion. We've learned about inclusion. We've learned about the fear of difference. We've talked about the difference between inclusion and meaningful inclusion. So far, we've also watched a video with some techniques about soccer. We've learned how to put the air in the ball, and that's important because we're about to use the ball. So get your soccer ball ready, friends. I'm not going to encourage or ask anybody to do a head ball, okay? I think that's something that you should do maybe under the instruction of your teachers or maybe with your family or something like that. So I'm not going to ask you to do that. I am going to tell you, if you don't have a friend with you to kick the ball towards, then you can do it against the wall right here, okay? But we're going to have a little bit of fun. I want you to all each take a few moments to just pass the ball to your friends in your classroom, or if you're not with some friends, if you're in an appropriate place. I don't want you to pass the ball up against your mom's china cabinet, but if there's a good wall in your house or outside, then you're welcome to do that as well. Remember the technique of passing. You want to kick with the inside of your foot, and you just gently thunk it from behind the ball. So I'm going to pass against the wall, and you can do that to your friends as well. As we're doing this, I'm going to share screens for some of our friends. So I want to see some of you start passing the ball to your friends. All right, there's some. I see some people in the background passing the ball around. Looks like they're passing around. We've got Valley High School coming up here. Good job. Good job. Yes, and you all are also passing the ball in some adaptive manners as well. Great work, Valley. I like the wave. We got Brooks Murphy over at Roosevelt. Looks like he's maybe passing the ball maybe against the wall in his house. That's great. Autumn Garlow is passing the ball maybe against the wall. Okay, now we're going to do what we talked about a few minutes ago. You saw it on the screen. And this is just called dribbling, right? In basketball, you dribble a ball like this. That's dribbling in basketball. But in soccer, we don't use our hands. So we use only our feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to dribble back and forth from one foot to the next foot, okay? Left to right, back and forth. So get your ball and start moving. And this, friends, this right here does a lot. This helps you learn and gain control. It helps strengthen your legs, makes your legs a little bit stronger. And it also really helps you with breathing techniques. So let's do this for a few moments. I'm going to go around and share screens again. There's Valley High School, friends. We've got Miss Gibney's class. I see some students there. Good job, friends. All right, look at this class here. And we've got Weeks Middle School again. Good job, Weeks. So I like that jumping and the hopping. That's really unique. Okay, everybody. Let's bring it back together. Bring it back together. We're preparing to wrap this up for the day, friends. Something I want to encourage each of you is to continue to be active with your new soccer ball, drinking water with that new water bottle that you have. You're all encouraged to just continue to keep your bodies moving, okay? Be active with that ball. Get your heart rate up every couple of days. Get out there and play. The weather is getting nice. I got one more thing to show you. Here's that apple. Do you remember those mean things I was saying to that apple? Yep. So I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm going to show you what happens when you say mean things to people. Take a look at this apple again. It actually is kind of a nice looking apple. I think I would take a bite out of this apple. It's a pretty good looking apple. Sits up nice and tall. It doesn't fall over. It doesn't roll around. It doesn't have any funny marks. The only thing wrong with the apple is that I have said mean things to it. And let's just see what happens when I cut this apple in half. Are you ready? Everybody get there and look at that screen. Remember those mean things I was saying to that apple? I was telling the apple that it's ugly. I said it has a funniest shade of red. And look what happened to that apple. The apple was perfectly fine. The apple wasn't ugly at all. The apple had no reason to feel the way it does. But I have been mean to the apple. I've been telling the apple mean things. I was telling the apple that it has an ugly shade of red. I told the apple that if I was an apple, I wouldn't want to be its friend. And look at what I did. I made that apple feel bad. And so something to think about, friends. Just like with the toothpaste last month when we squeezed all that toothpaste out and we couldn't put those toothpaste back into the tube, it's because it's hard to put bad words back in once you've said the bad words. The same thing is this apple looked perfectly fine from the outside. It looked like a perfectly fine apple. But in the inside, it had hurt feelings because I was saying mean things to it over and over and over again. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you to always think about that. If you say mean things to people, remember, sometimes people say, oh, well, it's fine, it's fine. And then you can't see their inside feelings. You can only see the outside of them. You can only see that they're pretending like it's not hurting their feelings. But the reality is, sometimes it does hurt their feelings, even if they don't look like it's hurting their feelings. And so remember that the apple looked perfectly fine from the outside, but the inside was all torn up. It was hurt feelings. Friends, I encourage you all to be active. I encourage you to think nice things, say nice things, and be nice people. I encourage you to get students in your school to be more accepting of people of all abilities, help them to understand what inclusion is and why it's important, and help them to understand the importance of being friends to everybody. I appreciate you all. Have fun, enjoy that soccer ball, and we will see you all again next month, I hope. Goodbye.